On the evening of June 21st, Donald Trump suddenly announced that he had ordered airstrikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities, with the most critical, the Fordow base, now destroyed. Trump subsequently disclosed tactical details of the US military operation to Fox News. Meanwhile, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is reportedly in hiding in a bunker, having appointed 3 potential successors and a military commander, individuals who could very likely become sacrifices in the ensuing conflict. At 7:50 p.m. EST on Saturday, June 21, 3:20 a.m. Sunday, Iranian time, Trump abruptly announced on Truth Social that he had ordered military strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. He wrote, "We have successfully attacked Iran's Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan nuclear facilities. All aircraft have now left Iranian airspace. All bombs have been dropped on the main nuclear facilities. All aircraft safely returned from Fordow." Trump added, "Congratulations to our great American warriors. No other military in the world can do this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter." 15 minutes later, he posted again on Truth Social, "Fordow is gone." Reuters reported that US Beta stealth bombers participated in the attack. Earlier on Saturday, Trump returned to the White House to meet with his National Security Council team in the Situation Room. The New York Times reported that a Pentagon official stated multiple Beta bombers attacked Fordow, which was the main nuclear facility undamaged in Israel's initial airstrike last Friday. Iran's nuclear facilities are hidden deep within mountains, tens of meters underground. The Hill reported that the US military needed Beta bombers because only they could carry the 30,000-pound GBU-57B massive ordnance penetrator MOP, designed to destroy nuclear laboratories tens of meters deep underground. The MOP bomb is 20.5 feet long, a GPS-guided penetrating device designed to destroy deeply buried, reinforced tunnels or bunkers. The US Air Force stated they had tested installing two MOP bombs on a Beta bomber, which would bring the aircraft's payload to 60,000 pounds, far exceeding its rated load of 40,000 pounds. The MOP is reportedly the most powerful and deepest penetrating non-nuclear bunker buster on Earth, crucial for destroying heavily fortified, deeply buried targets in countries like Iran, Russia, China, and North Korea. The bomb uses guidance to accurately hit the surface directly above the target. Typically, the US Air Force emphasizes strategic deployment when showcasing these unique bombs. The Wall Street Journal reported that earlier this week, Trump told aides he had approved attack plans against Iran, but delayed issuing the final order to observe whether Tehran would agree to abandon its nuclear weapons program. On Tuesday, Trump also revealed that the US now controls Iranian airspace, calling on Iran to surrender unconditionally, preparing the ground for the US to deploy Beta bombers for airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. Axios reported that the US was focusing on the Fordow nuclear plant, a mountain-based nuclear facility requiring US-made bunker busters to destroy it. Before the US airstrikes, Israel had already carried out airstrikes and probes on 3 facilities, destroying Iran's air defense systems. The Fordow nuclear facility, located about 100 kilometers south of Tehran, is built more than 260 feet, about 80 meters under a mountain near the city of Qom. It is central to Iran's nuclear program and protected by a large number of Russian-made missile defense systems and external defenses, making it one of Iran's most important, highest security, and most difficult to destroy nuclear facilities, primarily used for uranium enrichment. The Natanz nuclear facility is located in the central desert region of Isfahan province, near the city of Natanz, and is mainly used for large-scale uranium enrichment and refining low and medium concentrations of U-235. The Isfahan nuclear facility, located in the suburbs of Isfahan city, is a nuclear technology center and a storage site for near-weapons-grade uranium, including multiple factories and laboratories, forming the upstream part of Iran's nuclear fuel cycle, not a primary enrichment site. According to the non-profit Nuclear Threat Initiative, the target was Iran's nuclear research center in Isfahan, which houses 3,000 scientists and 3 Chinese-made nuclear reactors. To destroy these nuclear facilities, the US military employed a strategy of feinting to the east while attacking in the west, or pretending to repair one path while secretly crossing another. According to Fox News, Trump told host Sean Hannity that the US military first dispatched multiple decoy bombers over the western Pacific to trick the Iranians. On Saturday, the decoy planes stopped in Hawaii for refueling, leading people to believe they were too far away to attack Iran that day. Meanwhile, 3 B-2 bombers carrying 30,000-pound bunker busters quietly flew eastward, shortly after 3 a.m. Iranian time on Sunday. Under the cover of a waning crescent moon, the US military launched airstrikes on Iranian nuclear facilities, destroying 3 of them. Trump said the US used B-2 bombers to drop 6 bunker busters, not 2, completely destroying Iran's Fordow nuclear facility. Additionally, the US launched 30 Tomahawk missiles from submarines for 100 miles away, destroying the 2 nuclear facilities at Natanz and Isfahan. Previously, it was suggested that only 2 bunker busters would be needed to destroy the Fordow nuclear facility. Media reports revealed that the GBU-57 mock bomb uses its own weight and kinetic energy to reach deeply buried targets before exploding. This was the weapon's first combat use. According to the US Air Force, this precision-guided bomb is only used to attack deeply buried, reinforced bunkers and tunnels. It is believed to be able to penetrate approximately 200 feet, about 60.9 meters below the surface before exploding, and bombs can be dropped sequentially, with each explosion effectively creating a deeper and deeper hole. The B-2, which carries bunker busters, is solely operated by the Air Force and produced by Northrop Grumman. The aircraft was first used in combat in the Kosovo War in 1999. Since each aircraft is worth about $1 billion, the US military rarely uses them in combat. Northrop Grumman states that this strategic long-range heavy bomber has a range of approximately 7,000 miles without refueling and about 11,500 miles with one refueling, capable of reaching any location in the world within hours. Before the Iran attack, the last time the US military used this aircraft was last October, when it attacked Houthi rebels and their underground bunkers in Yemen. It has also dropped bombs in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya. On Saturday morning, 6 B-2 stealth bombers stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri were flying to Anderson Air Force Base in Guam. Jennifer Griffin, Fox News chief correspondent for Defense Affairs, stated that the B-2 bombers flying to Guam were actually a diversion, drawing everyone's attention to the West. This operation involved a great deal of deception. It is worth noting that everyone's attention was drawn to Guam in the West. Griffin said the operation was highly classified. I have worked at the Pentagon for 18 years and have never seen such tight operational secrecy. Information was almost completely locked down, with no news leaking out. The operation was timed for a waning crescent moon, near a new moon, making the sky over Iran very, very dark, providing an ideal environment for the B-2's stealth operations. Although escorts were still needed to prevent Iranian interception, the B-2's round trip from Whiteman Air Force Base to Iran takes approximately 30 hours, with 15 hours of flight to reach the target, after which it immediately leaves Iranian airspace. To mislead opponents, Trump also released smoke signals on Thursday, stating that he would make a final decision on whether to bomb Fordow within the next 2 weeks, but also emphasizing that Iran would never be allowed to possess nuclear weapons. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also hinted to the media during a press briefing that the president is giving himself 2 weeks to decide whether to attack Iran. Diplomatic options still seem to be under consideration. However, Trump's bombing of Iran was not without clues. In fact, on Saturday, after visiting Trump National Golf Club Bedminster in New Jersey, Trump returned to the White House. When faced with reporters' questions, Trump did not answer any but went directly to the White House Situation Room for a meeting on Iran. Even more peculiar, the White House even announced on Saturday the disbandment of the press pool, the group of reporters responsible for tracking the president's movements. Their disbandment that day signaled that Trump was preparing for something big. After completing the airstrikes, Trump issued a statement on Saturday night seemingly implying that this was the only direct US action against Iran, and stating, "Now is the time for peace." Republican lawmakers quickly congratulated the move on Saturday. Senator John Cornyn RTX called it a courageous and correct decision. He wrote on social media, "This is leadership on the world stage." Senator Lindsey Graham RSC, one of the strongest foreign policy figures in the Republican Party, stated, "Well done," and said it was the right decision by Trump and deserved by the Iranian regime. However, Representative Thomas Massie RKY opposed the US attack on Iranian nuclear facilities, writing on social media that it was unconstitutional, referring to legal questions surrounding Trump's authority to lead the US into war with a new Middle Eastern country. Representative Ro Khanna DCA, a co-sponsor of a House resolution to prevent US strikes on Iran, criticized the president's actions, saying Trump launched an attack on Iran without congressional authorization. On Saturday night, Trump addressed the nation from the White House, stating that the attack on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities on Saturday was a huge military victory and issuing a stern warning to Tehran that more attacks would follow if the regime did not make peace. Shortly after 10 p.m. that evening, Trump spoke in the White House Cross Hall, accompanied by Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Mark Rubio, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Trump's speech lasted less than 4 minutes. He said, "Tonight I can report to the world that this attack was a brilliant military victory. Iran's critical nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely destroyed." Trump warned, Iran, the Middle East bully, must now make peace. If they don't, future attacks will be more intense and easier. He began his speech by calling Iran the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. For 40 years, Iran has been shouting death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms with roadside bombs, blowing off their legs. That's their specialty. Referring to the thousands of deaths caused by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps under military leader Qasem Soleimani, Trump warned that this situation will not continue. He said, "We are united, perhaps more than ever before. We have made great progress in eliminating this terrible threat to Israel." Trump expressed gratitude and congratulations to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, with whom he spoke after the US bombing operation. Netanyahu praised Trump's military action, saying, "President Trump and I often say, strength brings peace." In anticipation of possible Iranian retaliation, US Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee urged American citizens in Israel to complete a crisis reception form to find a way back to the US when an opportunity arises. Huckabee said the State Department has begun assisting with evacuation flights from Israel, and challenges are immense due to near-closed airspace. If there's an option, take it. On Wednesday, Iranian Supreme Leader Khamenei warned that US attacks against the Islamic Republic of Iran would cause irreparable damage to the United States. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghaei declared that any US intervention could lead to a full-scale war in the region. On Saturday night, Trump issued a stern warning to Iran, writing on Truth Social, "Any Iranian retaliation against the United States will be met with a response far stronger than what was seen tonight. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump." According to media reports, as Israel continues to attack Iran, Iranian leader Khamenei is hiding in a bunker, preparing to evade assassination. The New York Times reported that the Supreme Leader, who has been in power for 30 years, has appointed 3 potential successors. He has also selected replacements for military commanders, and these commanders may also become casualties of war. According to 3 Iranian officials familiar with Khamenei's emergency war plans, the 86-year-old Khamenei views dying at the hands of Israel or the US as martyrdom. He has instructed the Assembly of Experts, Iran's religious body responsible for appointing successors, to quickly choose from the 3 candidates he provided. Normally, clerics would select a supreme leader from among their ranks, a process that takes several months. However, Khamenei is reportedly seeking a faster transition to secure his political legacy. The New York Times report did not reveal Khamenei's 3 candidates, but stated that his son Mojtaba, rumored to be a frontrunner, was not on the list of potential successors. Iran's supreme leader not only controls the executive branch and is the commander-in-chief of the Iranian armed forces, but also oversees the judicial and legislative branches, serving as the supreme guardian of the Shiite sect. Trump stated on social media that the US knows exactly where Khamenei is hiding, but prevented Israel's assassination attempt. Trump said Khamenei is easily hit, but safe there. "We will not take him out, kill him, at least not now. But we don't want missiles hitting civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is running out." The New York Times reported that the Ayatollah has suspended electronic communications to protect his location and only communicates with his military commanders through a trusted aide. That's all for today. If you like our program, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you all, and see you next time.